Oh, this phone quality on these phones is horrible. I guess they're trying to discourage you from making a video. All right, so real quick, I'm going to talk about the Ahab spirit. Okay. Um, I think I'm going to start, and I like to get right in because people's attention span is really short. So we're going to talk about, I'm sorry, First Kings 21. And I'm just going to read till the Spirit tell me to stop. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. And I will give thee for a better vineyard than it. Give thee, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. It's lawful not to give your inheritance for any reason. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would not eat bread, and would eat no bread. But Jezebel, his wife, Jeze, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money. Or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give ye my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou not govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letter, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. Now Ahab is the king of Israel, so he is one of God's chosen people. But he listening to Jezebel. Yeah, everybody know about the Jezebel spirit. Okay. I don't want to be seeming to hide my face. I have nothing to hide. Okay. And set Naboth on high among the people, and set two men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out, and stone him, that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were in the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in two men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, lied They bear false witness. How many go to court and say, oh, I'm not telling you did this and this and that, bro, so you can get that money? Same thing going on right here. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones, that he died. Stoned the man to death. Told a lie on him, and then stoned him to death. All for the righteousness of God, because he told Ahab, and Ahab know the rules. Ahab is the king of Israel. Do you think he do not know the rules? That's why he went on somewhere and laid on down and was just sad about it. They stoned him for doing the things of God, for doing the righteousness of the Lord. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. A witch. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab arose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Oh, don't you think the Lord don't come to his people and say, hey, I need you to go here or there, or force the situation to go in just that manner so that you can go handle his business. The Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whether he is gone down to possess it. The Lord see everything. He let them do this thing. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Hast thou killed also? Hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, In the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. Just in the same place the dogs licked up Naboth's blood, the righteous man, the dog's gonna lick your blood up the same way, Ahab, for this thing you've done. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee. Yep. Because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Ahab trying to figure out, bruh, how you know I'm in the vineyard? You ain't even a friend of mine. You ain't got no connections with none of my homeboys that would have told you, oh, he down in the vineyard. He tripping right now. That's how devils do when they get confused, or not so much devils, but people that have let evil take them over. They get confused about God's work. They forget God see, you know everything. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away the prosperity, and take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. And will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah. For the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger and made Israel to sin. See, when kings do wrong, they make a nation do wrong. When presidents doing stuff like, when presidents do things that's not of God, they make the whole world do crazy things or things that's not of God. You cause everybody to sin. This is why your leader is so important. And I try to say that without dogging nobody, okay? And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Him that dieth of Ahab in the city, dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably, and following idols, according to all things as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. So here he is, one of God's chosen people, king of Israel, and he's doing worse than the people that the Lord sent Moses and the children of the Hebrew children in to rake off the land so that they could take the promised land. They doing worse than the Amorites that the Lord caused them to utterly defeat. He doing worse than them. The Lord just do not be pleased. Okay? He did abominably in following idols. Idols. We doing the same thing right now still till today. But he says, 21:27, 1 Kings. And it came to pass when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted and laid in sackcloth and went softly. He humbled himself because he knew better. This is a chosen one. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. And that was the thing with David. When David did what he did and he slept with Bathsheba like that, the Lord told David, I'm not going to punish you. I'm going to punish your generations. I'm gonna let it go down to your children. And they're going to suffer because of what you did. That's the hurting part about it. When it touched your child, something you did touch your children. All right, so I'm going to do a 2-part on this. But I just want you to understand. And I believe that this land right here is the land that they still fighting over. This vineyard that was like right next to the palace, I believe it's the same land that's right next to the palace now. But Gaza, I don't know how big this vineyard was. You know what I'm saying? They make it sound like it was just a little old square patch, like, your front porch. But, the land was so plentiful there. And by it being a part of an inheritance, this was a vineyard. And it was part of his family's inheritance. It's probably huge. Not a little bitty vineyard, but humongous. Okay. Is Gaza, the same land they fighting over right now. And Jezebel started this war. All right. So I'm going to cut this off right here. get this loaded up, and then we're going to get to part 2 of Ahab. And then I wanted to make mention real quick too, where he says that Jezebel is going to the dogs is going to lick Jezebel's blood up. I should have stopped right then and there. uh um 1 Kings 21 and 23, it looks like. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. And then in 2 Kings 9:36, someone, she's making fun of someone, one of the rulers, and she's sitting in the window. And the ruler says, push her out that window. And somebody pushed her out that window, and she fell down to the ground and died, and the dogs licked her blood. The Lord do everything he said he gonna do. So people should really be afraid and really scared to play right now, or play anytime. You just don't play with God. You don't promise him you're gonna do things and then you don't do them. This is not a game. Your word is your bond. And, you know, the Lord heard you and Satan heard you. And, hey, be careful. This tongue, this mouth is powerful. Thoughts are powerful. If you're thinking evil thoughts, ask the Lord to get them out your mind. And, hey, I'm not saying this from a point of, oh, I'm perfect. I'm saying this from a point where I be saying, Lord, keep your hand on me all day, every day. Okay? All right, so we're going to end this right here, and we're going to come back and do 1 Kings 22. This is where it is.